Hey, first off, I would like to thank everybody for the support on the teaser video. Reading all those comments has given me inspiration to really try my best and provide a result for you all, so thank you. Now let's get started. Okay, so I think most of us by now knows what Windows 98 is, but just in case if you don't, here's some history about it. Windows 98 was released in 1998 after the very successful Windows 95. While Windows 98 didn't bring many features, it was still welcomed in the community, bringing things like disk cleanup, multi-monitor support, Windows Update, and improving Windows Explorer. But support for Windows 98 wouldn't last long. Once Windows XP came out in 2001, people left Windows 98 behind, and a small percentage of users stayed until support was killed on July 11, 2006. However, tons of people still feel nostalgia towards Windows 98, people of all ages, including me. While I was never able to experience Windows 98 as a young kid, I've grown to love the operating system, and I pledge to restore it back to its glory. But how would I do that? I'm glad you asked. Windows 98 has hardware restrictions, but also hardware limitations, leading it to only be able to run on the bits of hardware it was designed for, leaving many computers unable to run Windows 98. One such limitation would be the RAM limitation. Windows 98 will only accept 1 GB of RAM, and even then, it isn't necessary because Windows won't even use more than half of it. CPU and motherboard limitations also exist, with the best CPUs being a Core 2 Duo or a Pentium 4, and this hardware is obsolete by today's standards, which is why I want to restore it. First, we will tackle the memory issue. Most computers by now have 8 to 16 gigabytes of RAM. With Windows only supporting 1 GB, it's not suitable for our purpose. I plan to use PatchMem, a memory patcher that someone has made for Windows 9X versions, including this with the install would make one of the biggest issues gone immediately. Luckily, hard disks won't be much of a problem. Using a SATA patch, we can get Windows 98 to recognize SATA devices of any size. Like the memory patch, there's a GPU patch for Windows 98 to allow GPUs that have a VRAM greater than 512 megabytes to run on Windows 98. I also plan to find a way to install graphics drivers onto Windows 98 to enable 256 color mode. So far, our biggest threat is the CPU and motherboard compatibility. Changing Windows 98 to accept the modern hardware could be a challenge. So far, extensive research has been done to figure out a way to allow it to run. While we don't have a solution now, a solution will be found and implemented. Thank you for watching part 1 of the series. Next episode, we will try and bundle these drivers and patches with the Windows 98 ISO and try to run it, also fixing any errors we find along the way. I'll see you on the next episode. Bye.